How's everybody doing? It is Paul from Magpie 24/7 back out again with another view from the van. And yeah, I hope everybody has had a chance now. If you haven't, please do so across our YouTube and also Spotify, etc. Checking out the podcast that myself and Kyle did recently, just summing up recent events in Newcastle, takeover, transfer, and everything else that's been going on since the end of the European Championships and stuff. But I thought I would do a quick view from the van as I'm out and about, just ahead of our next pre-season game, actually, which I will be at coming up at Doncaster on Friday evening. Looking forward to that one. Yes and no. Yes, the first away game in absolutely donkeys. It feels like forever, but with the realisation, I think we've got about 9 or 10 youth kids in training with the first team at the moment, which isn't ideal. We've got obviously a rookie goalkeeper in, no goalkeepers, a senior goalkeeper is going to be at the game on Friday, and of course with no Graham Jones, there's nobody to save Steve Bruce from himself. So it'll be Bruce Ball in its purest form against Doncaster. No doubt 5 at the back and playing defensive like we did against York and that other friendly capitulation that we did last time out. I'm hoping to see better quality stuff served up. 3,500 Newcastle United supporters are making the trip to Doncaster. Who even knows whether they'll get 3,500 in the stadium as it is. So, you know, to get 3,500 the full allocation with a club that's spending fuck all, doing fuck all, is unbelievable. Because somebody said to me earlier in the week, just move on from the takeover, look at something else, forget about it. Well, it's difficult to forget about it when it's the only bastard show in town, because let's face it, without the takeover, we've got Steve Bruce as manager. Thankfully, in these last 12 months contract, me I fucking had. Hallelujah! Hope that fucker don't get extended. But we've got Steve Bruce as manager. We've got shite football to look forward to. We've got yet another edition of the relegation scrap, and this time with an absolutely minuscule fucking budget, the size of an ant's fucking cock in budgetary terms for Newcastle compared to the likes of the powerhouses of Brentford. It balls your piss, it really does. The club's in an absolute clusterfuck at the moment. It truly is. You know, we're doing the age-old thing with Newcastle. We've got irons in the fire. We're trying to get things over the line. But if a player's worth 8 million, we'll bid 4 million. If a player's worth 12 million, we might bid 8 or 9 million. Never ever at Newcastle do we fucking pay them just the market rate of what's the price? The price is this. Right, there you go. That is the amount you requested. See you later. Never once do we do that. It is always have to be the cheapest way possible. It always has to be cut price. They're not going. Then the people who are buying these players off, they're not in the market of doing favours for Newcastle. They're not in the market of doing favours for Lee Charnley and Mike Ashley. It's a business world, and in no business can you go in and offer 50% under the initial price and expect to succeed time after time after time. The latest name that's popped back up, it must be said, is Lamina. Southampton's player obviously has been out on loan and stuff, but again, Newcastle want to do a deal at about £4 million. Southampton, in no rush, say, right, we'll wait till later on. We're confident we'll get at least 8 million quid for him. And thus it rumbles on, but you have to think, if Newcastle want these players, if Nixon and Bruce have identified and think this player can make us better, then back their judgment and pay the going fucking rate. But no, typical Newcastle tactics. We'll let this fucking rumble on, and the squad, like I touched on before, with like 9 or 10 youth kids in at the moment, is paper thin. I know we've got Miggy to come back into it. We've got Fabian Schär, Emil Bastard, fucking Kraft and co. But the squad is so weak. Then we're on about loaning out Matty Longstaff. You're seeing, oh my word, you're seeing Jeff Hendrick getting game time in the first game of the season, the opening of the pre-season, and if that's not worrying you, if that's not panicking you, as the chairman of Newcastle United, as the manager of Newcastle, then you need your fucking head testing. The fact that Jeff Hendrick is getting anywhere near Newcastle United's first team is absolutely fucking bonkers. The only two people who've ever rated this lad is Sean Dyche, who probably eats fucking chains and fucking bolts for breakfast by the fucking looks of him, and Steve Bruce, who'd probably eat Sean Bastard Dyche for breakfast. Fucking hell. It's just a fucking joke. We've gone from again the possibilities of being the richest club in the world to the prospect of starting the season with Jeff Hendrick as one of our first choice midfielders. John Joe Shelby injured, no time frame put upon when he's coming back. Joe Willock, I'm desperate for this lad to sign, and I've no doubt that he's probably desperate to join us. But the powers that be, the financiers at St James's Park are just doing now. And I touched on this before. I don't care whether you've got to go and get an overdraft, a loan, beg, borrow, do whatever you must, Newcastle United. But surely, even a cockwomble can tell that we are desperate for that lad. Just look at games like against Fulham, which were very, very similar to the York game. We're playing shite, we're not doing good stuff, nothing's being created, but the chink of light that comes from a burst from the midfield area, running into the box, causing danger, causing trouble, getting shots away, getting goals, winning games, securing points and securing Premier League status. But I look at it sometimes and I just think Mike Ashley is happy to spin the roulette wheel, and yeah, I mean, it's rather apt. I'm just driving past a fucking circus right now, because that is where those bunch of bastards who run Newcastle should be at. Fucking bunch of clowns. Yeah, literally passing the fucking circus, and we're talking about these fucking muppets. But yeah, like you say, even a simple galah could tell you that we need this lad like yesterday. That should have been our first priority, and no doubt the club have contacted him and contacted Arsenal, but with how much energy, with how much determination, with how much finance on the table, if you want to walk in amongst the big teams, as Steve Bruce keeps calling them, then you've got to operate and act and spend accordingly. And that's something that Newcastle don't do, because we are so fucking cheap. So yeah, again, we'll all just cross our fingers, hoping about Joe Willock. But we were doing that with the takeover, and obviously the wheels have fallen off that a little bit. Arbitration pushed back now to early 2022, so that'll rear its head most likely around about the transfer window time, after what at the moment is looking like a long, cold, hard winter. If Newcastle have still got the squad we've got at the moment, I can't see us being in anything else but a relegation battle and being down near the bottom, especially if we're getting injured to the likes of Wilson. Fuck me. Replacing Mutu, bringing Mutu back into the fold is not the fucking answer, man, Steve Bruce. But oh yeah, the takeover, that ball has been kicked into the long grass. That will wait now until early 2022, and then even if it goes our way, you've then got to wait for it to all go back to the Premier League, go through, which is 6 to 8 weeks, so another month or two on there. You're looking, I think, the earliest towards the end of the season, at the earliest, and then that's probably the most opportunist person, the arbitration side of it. The other side, the CAT case, the anti-competitive case, that rumbles on. That is still gaining momentum at the moment. Little bits and shards of information coming out. We were promised some sort of information this week, So we wait with bated breath. That'll probably come out tomorrow whilst we're getting ready for some pre-season action. But again, it's the Newcastle United fans that are getting punished. It's us that have to put up with the shit. It's us that has another season of just battling to stay in the league. No more. Every other club has something to look forward to. Not at Newcastle. Another rinse and repeat season under Bruce with shit football, probably dwindling attendances, and people just getting pissed off and more pissed off by the fucking day. It really is a joke. We've just got to hope that something can come to a settlement outside of these cases. You just don't know at any avenue when that may or may not happen, or if somebody else comes in for the club. I don't know, but goodness me, it's gutting. It's a kick in the bollocks. It really, really is. We care. We're passionate about the club. The players involved don't give an absolute flying fuck. Mike Ashley sold the club in his head and his mind. Stabley and them who, you know, have been on all sorts, spoken very, very well, but can't physically do anything until they own the club. And it's so frustrating. It's all down to that fucking Richard, aka Dick Master at the Premier League. Since that lad's come along, things have literally hit the shit. They really have. And he's got a lot to answer for. And hopefully, you know, some of this anti-competition stuff that's coming out shortly will either bring about a settlement, or, and what's probably needed more than anything else, is to expose these bastards as the crooks they are, get them out of the fucking game, because I'm sick and tired of decisions being made behind closed doors, smoke and mirrors, paper bags. You know, we've had it through UEFA, we've had it through FIFA, and now we're getting it through our own game in the Premier League, which we used to think was good and decent and right. It's not. It's just as bad as what FIFA is. You might as well have Sepp Blatter running the fucking thing, because it's just the same carry on and shenanigans and stuff like that. Yes, there has been improvements with regards to the Saudis and streaming. That's been tackled today. There is legal ways now to actually buy, you know, beIN Sports over there now. So little things like that showing a good sign, but then on the other side of things, you're looking at it and it's like, when will this ever end? 15 months, another 6 months on top, maybe another 9 months on top. When will it ever end? It's beyond a piss take. It really, really is. I had enough, but we have literally got nothing else. No signings imminently, signings you can get excited about. There's no point talking about tactics, because under Bruce doesn't do tactics. Remember that, he said that last season. With no Graham Jones at the moment, he's off for another couple of weeks, so even pre-season it's pretty dull, tepid, boring of a serve up. So that's just the way it is at the moment. It's a bit of a barrel of shit, I'm afraid to say. I wish I could say something different, something better, that Newcastle had brighter times ahead, but really everything still hinges on this takeover, which has been knocked back to 2022 at the bastard earliest. Only at Newcastle United does this shit go on. Just remember that, because if it was at Manchester United, or if it was an Arsenal or Liverpool or Spurs, anybody like that, this deal would have been done, it would have been signed off, and it would have been tough titty on the rest of yous. Manchester City got their moment, got their transfer, got their deal done, but no, it seems that the Newcastle side of it just doesn't ever seem to come to a head. Even the fan-led review that has published its preliminary readings today, it probably isn't going to come in time to help Newcastle a great deal, but it does highlight the frustrations that we have been saying for fucking ages. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you think about everything down below. We're going to be doing a question and answer on the next podcast, like I touched on the end of the last podcast, doing a Q&A. So if there's any questions you want answered, our thoughts, our opinions on anything at all, get them into one of the messages, send them through our DMs. They're all open for you to be able to send messages through to us. And if not, Magpie247 at outlook.com. You can email us at any time, and we'll look to get your questions answered. But we are just as frustrated, just as pissed off, just as tired as each and every one of you. Anyway, let us know as well down below if you're going to any of the pre-season games. I'm at the Doncaster game and the Rotherham game, looking forward to getting into the routine. Not so much with the football, it must be said. Not particularly looking forward to watching Steve Bruce's 5 at the back versus these sort of teams. Got to be honest, no disrespect to the teams that we're playing. In the meantime, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.